recently visited 3 European cities in just one day. In fact, I managed to hit 4 big cities in 1 week. It wasn't exactly planned that way, but my business trip to Iceland, plus some interesting flight connections, turned into a mini European tour through Wroclaw, Edinburgh, Reykjavik, and Manchester. In this video, I'll show you how to get to Reykjavik and share some highlights from my stops along the way. Be sure to turn on the subtitles for your language, as this is primarily a language learning channel. You can use this as an opportunity to pick up some new English vocabulary. You'll also find a link to Quizlet flashcards related to the vocabulary featured in this video in the description. You can find those over at herohero.co/English Club. Alright, welcome on board. Today I've got a long distance to cover from the Czech Republic way over to Iceland, Reykjavik. How am I going to get there? I'm gonna tell you in this video. Step 1, if you're from the Moravian Silesian region, Prague! Just get into a car and drive to Wroclaw, Poland, which is what I did. It is so convenient. It's not even foggy here. It was really foggy when I got into the car in Czechia. And the roads, oh my god, so smooth, so smooth. So yeah, just get into a car and drive to Wroclaw. You'll be there in 2 hours and it is so convenient. The airport is small and you will probably have to catch a connecting flight, but I'm sort of used to it. Plus sometimes it is an advantage, because today we'll have a chance to visit Edinburgh as well. That's right, Edinburgh in Scotland. Fernando. Well, hello! Okay, you survived. We are here. I'm almost at the airport. I'm just walking from the parking lot. And again, it's pretty convenient, I gotta say. The prices are not great, not terrible. Now, check it out. This is how far we are from the airport, okay? That's where it is. That's the terminal. Okay, so 5 minutes of walking and we're there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you're flying out of Wroclaw, I definitely recommend using parklot.cz for your car. The prices are reasonable and the location works well with airport transfers. The airport itself is actually a pleasure to use. I got through check-in and security in about 15 minutes. Alright, I'm in Scotland now. I haven't been here for a long time, like 14-15 years. The last time I was here, I was working in Amazon actually in 2009 and 2010. But I worked in Gurok and lived in Glasgow. Never been to Edinburgh, this is my first time. So anyway, I've got a plane to catch, a connecting flight. So this is just a couple of hours worth of sightseeing. Edinburgh was a brief but memorable stop. I had about 3 hours to explore. Since I enjoy discovering places on foot, I kept it simple with 2 main destinations: Edinburgh Castle, even though from a distance, and Dean Village, a charming part of the old town. Somehow though, I ended up at an old cemetery right below the castle. I took the wrong turn and here is the result. Why do I enjoy walks at these places? A hundreds of years old graveyard has a calming effect on me. In a way, it seems romantic and reminds me of William Blake's poems. Anyway, I'll have the rest of the eternity to spend at a place like this one, so let's just move on to our first stop, Dean Village. Dean Village is a real hidden gem, just a short walk from the city center along the river. It has such an interesting history. It used to be the city's grain milling hub. And you can still see evidence of this in the stone carvings of bread and wheat on the buildings. Well Court, a stunning red brick building from the 1880s, stands as a reminder of the area's working past. It was built to house mill workers. The whole village has this peaceful atmosphere that feels worlds away from the city center. If you enjoy photography, you'll find plenty of great shots here. Even from a distance, Edinburgh Castle is impressive. It sits high up on Castle Rock, which is actually an old volcano, and the castle itself is over 1,000 years old. The castle also has the Stone of Destiny, which is an important part of Scottish royal history. It has been used in coronations for hundreds of years. There's an old saying that whoever controls the stone controls Scotland. Now, the flight from Edinburgh to Iceland was slightly delayed.
The plane is fine.
And you fixed the phalange.
Yes, the phalange's fixed. As a matter of fact, we put a whole lot of extra phalanges on board just in case.
But it gave me time to enjoy the airport atmosphere. I had some coffee and croissant. I kind of like spending time at an airport. It's like everything everywhere all at once. There's always something interesting to observe, from stylish restaurants to smelly toilets. Here's a useful tip. When flying to Reykjavik, you actually land in Keflavik, about an hour from the capital. Don't worry about the distance though, just grab a flybus ticket at the airport. They do not run on a fixed schedule, but rather coordinate with flight arrivals, and in my experience, the service has always been reliable. And here we are. Welcome to Iceland. Sorry there wasn't much to show you. There is a bit of a drizzle outside and it's dark. But anyway, as I've mentioned before, you're flying into Keflavik, not Reykjavik. So you need to take a bus. And I definitely recommend buying the flybus ticket. It's flexible, there's no fixed schedule. The bus is always sort of there waiting for you outside of the airport. All you need to do is exit the airport. There's only one exit and you'll see it. You don't have to worry, the service is reliable, they will take you to Reykjavik, and the journey takes within an hour, maybe even 45 minutes, up to an hour. I'm now exhausted, jet-lagged, I'm going to bed. Well, good morning. I am here with my Icelandic friend, Berglind. Hi, Berglind.
Hi, Jerry.
I've got a couple of interesting questions for you about Iceland and the culture here, okay? So, we're gonna start with dating.
Oh, wow.
So imagine, okay, I'm Icelandic. Let's pretend that I'm Icelandic.
Yes.
A guy walks into a bar. I go into the bar. I meet a girl that I like. What's the first thing that I'm gonna do?
Oh, well. The first thing you will do, you have to check if you are related.
How do you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, as you know, the population here is not that high.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure before we take it a step further in the dating, we have to make sure that we are not related. So we have now this fantastic app that they have made. And
what's it called?
It's called Íslendingabók. Íslendingabók.
Íslendingabók.
Fantastic, Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah, well done.
Okay.
So you can go onto this app to really check how related you are to that person. So they have a database with, I think there are like 996,000 Icelandic people, like 95% of everybody from the 17th century that have been born here. And so
you just put in the name?
Yeah,
or?
so you just put in your name and the name of the person, and then you can see how far in like history you are related, because everybody in Iceland is related some way. So then you count. So if you see like, oh my God, you are quite related, oh, goodbye, I'm not talking to you.
But some people have the same name, right? So how do you, do you just ask about the date of birth or what?
Well, you can see the date of birth. You can also see the parents and the siblings, so you can see like the family. And you can, but yes, it's easy to ask for the date of birth, the year when they're born. Yeah.
So in reality, how does that work? Like do you just go to the toilet and check in the app, or do you do it like you're sitting there? So what's your name? Okay, I'm just gonna check. Or
in reality, I think people do it like maybe after the first conversation.
Okay.
So first they just like they're at the
so
bar.
You gather all the information.
Yeah, I think so. They gather information, and if they're like, okay, this person is actually interesting, maybe I can take it a step further. Yeah. But before I call that person, let me check if we are related, because that has happened here in Iceland. I have heard these stories.
Tell me.
People actually go home together.
Yeah.
And then they realize, like, we are actually related.
Like cousins or?
Like second cousins or something.
Second cousins.
So, and when you hear a story like that, you think twice before you take it a step further.
I've noticed that when I arrived, I knew about it, there's not going to be much light. It's November, so you get like, what, 5 hours of light?
Yeah, around 5 hours. And
during the day, So in the morning, it's 8 o'clock and it's completely dark. It looks like midnight. Now it's 10:30, so it's like, this looks like 6 o'clock in the morning in the Czech Republic, basically.
Yes, exactly.
So do you get a lot of depression here?
Yes, and it is quite a big problem here, because we have a lot of darkness for quite many months. And especially during December, we only have like maybe 3 hours of sunlight. I think depression has always been here, like everywhere else, but I think depression has always been connected to the darkness in some way. We are maybe more aware of it now, and we maybe know how to help us with the depression by doing many things for our well-being, and one of that thing, taking vitamin D, for example. And that's just maybe one little thing that you can do to prevent or to help you through the dark months. But I think many people here, though, as you say, like we have a long history of living here, it doesn't affect everybody. But many people get affected by this.
So life here must have changed quite a lot, significantly, because to me it feels like this is my 5th time here, and it looks like Iceland is booming. You get a lot of immigration from Poland and other countries, and I feel like there's still plenty of room. Like Iceland can actually grow, especially with climate change, I guess. That's gonna that's going to have some, well, I don't know if it's a positive effect.
It's also very positive in many ways, but it also brings a lot of difficult things that we have to figure out with this fast-growing population.
Statistics, we talked about, a couple of months ago I talked to our friend Noni about statistics in Iceland, the murder rate, and it was like one murder
a year, like approximately one murder a year. This year there has been 13, I think, murders, and in November. And in the news they have been discussing this with people. Why do you think this rate is going up? And one is we are growing, the population is growing, and with growing population comes more problems.
Yeah, so it's just what statistics, just the numbers.
It's statistics. So we have to learn to adapt to this changing future. Like it is changing. But this is quite interesting. Like my grandfather, he's not with us here anymore, but he was actually born in the north in like a grass mud house. Like
Ísafjörður.
Well, he's from Skagafjörður, and he was born in this old house that we had here, like 100. It's only 100 years ago, Jerry, and he was born with no electricity, no running water, just mud and grass and wood, like some wood house.
Yeah, Middle Ages.
Kind of. Yeah. And he walked to Reykjavik. It's 4 hours drive from here to there. And he walked. And his mom, like, stood outside in front of their house for hours just to watch.
For days.
I mean, she was just making sure he was okay as far as he could see, because there were no phones, no ladders, no nothing. Well, of course we had horses, but they were not rich. They didn't have a horse at the time, and he actually walked to Reykjavik. So that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's my grandfather. So,
have you ever experienced a cultural shock when you traveled abroad?
Yeah.
Like something that is completely Icelandic mentality might be completely different than, I don't know, Spanish mentality. So if you've experienced a cultural shock somewhere in a foreign country, tell me about it.
Few times actually. Well, I have now traveled quite a lot, but when I first time went to a big city like London, I'm 14, and first of all seeing bus, it was 2 levels.
Right.
Was eye-opening.
Yeah.
And going to a big city where there are millions of people, underground trains, and people
There's
everywhere.
no subway here, right? There's no subway, no trains. Yeah.
And going into a train that is underneath the ground, standing on like Oxford Street in London, where there's people everywhere. It's so crowded.
And people from all over the world, yeah.
No personal space. That is a cultural shock, yes.
Okay.
Going to New York when I was quite young as well, like seeing like all of these tall buildings everywhere. And then I've been to South America and seeing the poverty compared to the rich people was like probably the strongest cultural shock I've experienced.
Yeah, there was a bit of a cultural shock to me as well, because when the first time I was here, I mean, it's Reykjavik, it's one of the capitals, so you would sort of expect to see a lot of homeless people, but the first time I was here, and you know, every time I come here, I see no homeless people, and the streets are clean, so this is like paradise to me.
Yeah. One thing, I don't know if it answers your questions, but one thing that shocked me like to my core, I'm very like safe, like I want to have everything really safe, and like I'm brought up in this quite safe environment. So when I step outside of that, when I'm traveling, like I always check if it's a safe neighborhood. So when I was in Venezuela, my best friend, she's from there, and she told me like, Berglind, you cannot trust the police.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Can I not trust the police? Because here in Iceland, you trust the police.
Sure.
Like, you trust the police here. And she was like, no, and especially not the military police and not the police. So she told, like, because she was like, no. Usually the police is like working with like the robbers and stuff like that. So when I heard that, that was like very, very, very difficult to hear and made me very insecure.
Sure. Okay, I'm in England, and I think Manchester is a bit overcrowded. Take a look. There's, people bumping into each other. The pigeons don't even care. There's plenty of rubbish on the streets. Loving it. It's alive. It's alive. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna record as I walk through the Piccadilly area back towards the train station and the airport, and I just want I just want you to see I struggle through these 20 minutes. I'm gonna edit it later. Okay, everybody's here. All sorts of people speaking different languages, singing different songs, religious songs, reading the Bible, Hare Krishna. This is a fun area.
And the Bible reads, everybody has fallen short of the glory of God. What does that mean? It means that we've always...
This is the second Bible reading that I'm seeing here.
I'm not here to tell you you've done a little something.
It's not what I'm used to doing, but that's some stuff I do.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk around. It's a bit peaceful here. A bit, but that's not where we're going. We're going back to the train station.
In and out in 10 minutes. Renee, move your ass. My head's too big.
Yeah, you're gonna be on YouTube.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Hey, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Oops, sorry. Just look at all the lovely people. Everyone's polite. Sorry here, sorry there.
I love getting a chocolate.
Free Islamic literature. Quran, Sunnah. And this is the Czech church, Primark. Everybody wants to go there. It's Christmas everywhere. In November. My accent has changed from all that stress. I sound horrible. And again, sorry here, sorry there. I'm gonna squeeze in. Oh, Greg's Bakery. There's a bit of a queue, but I like it. I used to go there often. So apparently this guy is telling everybody if they can go or not. Wow, okay. I'm going in. Can I hold my luggage in one hand, the camera in the other, and still grab something to eat? I don't think so. Man, this is fun. Oops, sorry. I just ran someone over. Oops, sorry. Out of the way, out of the way. I'll run you over. Ah, too close. So I only had like 2 hours in Manchester and I'm kind of running out of time. Hopefully we'll make it. You'll see it in the video. You already know, I don't. That's the fun part. I have no idea if I get home, when I get home, and you can just skip forward and find out. Guys are having fun. Yeah, this is the Western world as well. Everything is here. Everything. Okay, we're getting closer. I remember this. Ah, classic England. Finally. Okay, we're gonna make a detour after all. Just to see this beautiful gate. That's it. That's the detour. Look, a gate. And I'm sold. Somebody's gonna kill me here. Piccadilly Basin. What are we going to see here? Parking lot. I have to go back to the main street. Oh, that's the train station. I can see it. Okay, we made it. I don't know what the time is, but I guess we made it. Do I have a ticket? A return ticket? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, this was Manchester. I gotta get out of here. So I will see you maybe next week in another video about this time. And we have now gone full circle. I'm back where we started in Wroclaw, about to find my car. I will see you in the next one.